Good evening. It's got to turn it on.
Good evening, everyone. It's October 12, 2021. It's 7:02 and 28 seconds. This is our regular council meeting, the first for this month, the first after the budget. Let's call the meeting to order, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor. And before we begin, I want to remind everyone on the dais to speak directly into the mic, because otherwise it's very difficult to hear in the recording to complete the minutes. Thank you. Councilwoman Timothy?
Here.
Councilwoman Estime Irvin?
Present.
Mayor Bieneme?
Here.
Councilman Galvin?
Here.
I said clearly into the mic. Councilman Desilme?
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum to proceed.
Thank you very much. And now it's time for our Pledge of Allegiance. We call Major Ransom Carter from the North Miami Police Department, followed with the invocation by Pastor William Vasquez from the North Miami Police Department.
Everyone, please place your right hand over your heart. Join with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pastor Vasquez.
Good evening. This is a privilege to be over here. Thank you very much. If we close our eyes, we're going to pray. Heavenly Father, we are gathering over here to look for your wisdom so we can handle all the situations and all of those decisions that we need to take. Father, thank you for all the present people over here. And thank you for the opportunity for them giving you to be allowed on this room, giving your praise. And I want to read something to you. The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment, and equity, to give to title to the simple, to the young man, knowledge and discretion. A wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall obtain unto wise counsel. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for your words. Amen.
Thank you very much, Pastor Vasquez from the North Miami Police Department, Major Carter. And now, Madam City Manager, do you have any additions, deletions, amendments, or deferrals to the agenda?
No, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Madam City Manager. City Attorney, is the agenda set to
Yes, Mayor, the agenda is set. You may proceed.
Thank you very much. And now we are going to have special presentations regarding hurricane preparedness and COVID-19 updates.
Good evening, Mayor and Council, all of our visitors and guests. Commander Angelo Brinson, Emergency Manager. For our hurricane update, we have about 7 weeks remaining in the 2021 Atlantic hurricane season, and it is still pretty busy out there. Currently, we are monitoring one area of storms in the Caribbean. It's forecast to develop into a further storm, but head out to sea and not affect us. But as with all storms, we will continue to monitor and provide updates as they become available or as necessary. Moving over to COVID-19, as we announced before, the state is now only providing weekly updates, and for the state and county level. For Miami-Dade County, the cases were lower last week than the previous week. The previous week was 4,332, and last week it dropped down to 3,359 for a lower number of 973. So this has been the case for the last several weeks of the cases downtrending. This should serve as motivation for all of us to continue to do everything we can to stop the spread of COVID-19. And that includes wearing our masks, social distancing, and sanitizing. In closing, testing and vaccinations are available at Joe Celestine Center and at Gwen Margolis Center. Joe Celestine Center is located at 1525 Northwest 135th Street, and the Gwen Margolis Center is at 1590 Northeast 123rd Street. Testing is available daily, Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and vaccinations are Saturdays only by appointment. This concludes my update this evening.
Thank you very much. Do you have any questions about
Thank you.
COVID-19? No questions. Thank you very much. And now, as far as city events and announcement, Madam City Manager, can you add it for next week, next agenda, so we can have our announcement and city events? So we have a lot better that we have that agenda. Yes, you are going to say.
Will do.
Thank you very much. And now I invite council members to come up front for a picture.
Oh, I know. That's the only thing I have. I have socks and trying to do my back and thing. Trying to show off.
Mayor,
Yes.
Oh, please.
just one additional correction. Tab H is a quasi judicial item.
Each.
So it should be marked as such, and
I can't hear you.
I said it should be marked as such, and the witnesses would have to be sworn in.
Oh. The tab H.
The plat, the final plat, the proposed final plat.
Motion now. Let's move to the. There's no appointment, Madam City Clerk.
No, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Consent
May I have a point
agenda.
of privilege, Mr.
Yeah.
Mayor, while we're talking about appointments? Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I would like to encourage my board members to appoint at least the youth council. As you know, last year we had some youth council. I think they really enjoy it. We're trying to get quorum. So that would be my colleagues up here. That includes you,
mine
Mr.
already.
City Manager, you, Madam Manager, you, Madam Clerk. If you would please appoint a youth so we can have
I have an
quorum
appointment.
with our. Yeah, you do.
We appoint my. Okay.
You, both you and I appreciate it. Thank you.
What was this for? Thank you very much. And now let's move with the consent agenda, tab A to C. Madam Clerk.
Mayor, I do want to point out that there was an error in tab B for the minutes of the second budget hearing. The budget hearing minutes were revised to now reflect 3-0 votes for tabs A and B because Councilwoman Estime Irvin was not actually present during those. All right.
Explain what happened?
During the second budget hearing,
Mm-hmm.
votes were taken on tabs A and B.
Mm-hmm.
The votes were stated to reflect 4-0.
Okay.
Councilman Desame was absent.
Yes.
Councilwoman Estime Irvin was also absent during that vote, those votes in particular.
That's when she didn't come back.
She came back for tab C.
But when you come back, you forget to record a vote.
I was not present.
Oh. Because if the person is there, that's when they leave their super. Okay, that's fine. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Unless a member of the City Council wishes to remove a specific item from the portion of the agenda, tabs A through C constitute the consent agenda. These resolutions and items are self-explanatory and are not expected to require additional review or discussion. These items will be recorded as individually numbered resolutions adopted unanimously by the following motion: that the consent agenda comprised of tabs A through C be adopted.
Thank you very much. Can I hear a motion on tab C?
So moved.
On the consent
Consent
agenda.
agenda. So move.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilwoman Estime Irvin to approve the consent agenda. The motion was seconded by Councilman Galvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
Tab B.
Tab D, a proposed resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, approving the North Miami Community Redevelopment Agency, North Miami CRA, fiscal year 2020-2021 amended budget, authorizing the city manager to transmit the North Miami CRA fiscal year 2020-2021 amended budget to Miami-Dade County, authorizing the city manager to take all action necessary to complete the approval process for the North Miami CRA fiscal year 2020-2021 amended budget with Miami-Dade County, providing for an effective date and all other purposes. Tab D.
So move.
Second.
Thank you very much. Let's open it to the public. I have a motion on the floor, but in the meantime, let's open it to the public. Public hearing is open on tab D. Public hearing open on tab D. Public hearing is now closed. Madam Clerk.
I have a motion made by Councilwoman Estime Irvin to approve the item at tab D. The motion was seconded by Councilman Galvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
Tab E.
Tab E, a proposed resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, approving the North Miami Community Redevelopment Agency, North Miami CRA fiscal year 2021-2022 budget, authorizing the city manager to transmit the North Miami CRA fiscal year 2021-2022 budget to Miami-Dade County, authorizing the city manager to take all action necessary to complete the approval process for the North Miami CRA fiscal year 2021-2022 budget with Miami-Dade County, providing for an effective date and all other purposes. Tab E.
So move.
Tab E. There's a motion on the floor. There's a first and a second. Let's open it to the public. Tab E is open to the public. Public hearing on tab E. Public hearing is now closed. Madam Clerk.
I have a motion made by Councilwoman Estime Irvin to approve the item at tab E. The motion was seconded by Councilman Desame. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
Very much. Tab F.
Tab F, a proposed resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, adopting the Black & Veatch Corporation Rate Design Analysis and Conservation-Based Rate Structure Plan entitled Revenue Requirements, Cost of Service, and Rate Design for Water and Sewer Service for fiscal years 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, and 2026, as prepared specifically for the City of North Miami Water and Sewer Collection and Transmission System, and further authorizing the city manager to do all things necessary to implement the stated rate structure plan, providing for an effective date and all other purposes. Tab F.
Thank you very much. We have a presentation. No, we don't have a presentation. I think at the last meeting, you have the consulting company that did the presentation, and
That's correct. This item is adopting the presentation that was made at the last meeting. Black and Veatch came and made a presentation about their water rate study and what was needed to implement the rate structure.
as required by who? The study.
So in order for us, by ordinance, if we want to bring in the rates, we are required to do a water rate study that would be clear as to why and what we needed to do. So what the water rate study does, it takes into account what's needed in order to keep up the infrastructure of the water so that we can continue to provide clean water, and look at what we currently have in the fund and what needs to be in the water rate fund in order for us to be able to keep up with the state and federal laws in terms of water, and also to make sure that our facilities and our pipes are up to date.
Are they here now? Black and Veatch, they're here now? No? Okay, thank you very much. Let's open it to the public. Public hearing is open on tab E.
Tab
Public
F.
Tab F, sorry. Public hearing is open on tab F. Yes.
Hello, my name is Deborah Davies. I live at 1165 Northeast 127th Street, North Miami 33161. I just want to make a comment, which my neighbors also agree with. It is unfair to raise our water rates by 6% per year. After 6 years, that would be a 42% increase. This is a regressive tax on small homeowners and small businesses, at the same time as the city is handing out parcels of land and millions in grants and tax breaks to developers. As you have heard before, the main culprits failing to pay their water bills are not homeowners or small businesses, but the owners and managers of large condo and rental apartment buildings. We all agree the city's water system must be repaired, but it is not fair to place this burden on small homeowners and small businesses who have paid their fair share. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Public hearing is still open on tab F. Public hearing is open on tab F. Public hearing is now closed. And before we move forward, I understand the resident and about, he stated 42%. I don't think that's how you do the calculation. 6% every year doesn't give you 42% add to it. First of all. Secondly, you said we do need to improve our infrastructure. And I just watched a report from the city of Michigan. There's a water crisis right now because they don't have money to redo the infrastructure and fix all the problems. And a few years and months, you see what happened in the city of Fort Lauderdale. And they have to find over $260 million to update the infrastructure, water and sewer improvements. The city of North Miami, we need to meet requirements. When the county said you need to redo all your 14 pump stations, you need to find $7 million in the budget to do it. Who have to pay for it? It's whoever is using the water. I just received a letter from the county. Let me tell you something. We need about 15 million gallons of water every day for our clients. To meet our clients' demand, we need 15 million gallons of water every day, about between 14 and 15 million. We have a water plant. It's 60 years old. they're only pumping about 5.8 million a day. 20% is vanished because the system is whole. That's when we have to buy about 8 million gallons a day from Miami-Dade County. And I just received a letter from Miami-Dade County. They have a 5-year action plan, and they're going to increase the water for the next 5 years. We don't produce water. We get it from Miami-Dade County. All we're doing is passing it to the residents so we can fix the water plant. If you want to be a city like Michigan, the city of Michigan, where you're going to have a water crisis, okay. But as mayor of the city, I'm not going to let that happen. I'm going to encourage the residents to pay that extra $6 a month instead of put $1,000 on your property taxes. That's when you have a choice to make, whether you want to increase your property taxes instead of 7.5, 8.5, so we can get enough money to subsidize the water, or you are agreed to pay $5, $6 more a month for the water that you are using. It's not like we're going to take the money and do party with it. It's to rebuild our system. And the state, we have $38 million loan from the state in order to fix our infrastructure. But at the same time, the state said, okay, you need to be in a position to fix your infrastructure. That's when either you accept to pay the $6 or the $7, or your property tax is going to be increased because the money have to come in from somewhere. And Miami did it. Every city did it. It's not like the city of North Miami is the only one doing it. Everybody passed the budget and they did that. The county passed its budget and they did that. And we're buying water from Miami-Dade County. That's all we are doing. We're not putting money toward parties or events in the city just to fix. Just in this budget, we have about $2 million that we have to pass to redo for a sewer project, right? Madam City Manager, in this budget, right? $1.7 million.
So in this agenda, we have a $1.2 million for one of the water plants, and that would come out of that fund as well. So that we can
It's
replace
every
that.
year. We spend $6-7 million every year to fix it. When you see all those sewer improvements, repairing all those stations, it's the money have to come from somewhere. And the cities, the residents are using the water. They're just paying for the water. It's not like they're paying more than everywhere for the water. We all pay the same. The same that North Miami Beach is paying, the city of Allendale, the city of Miami, unincorporated did the same rate. That's what we are paying. It's not like we're asking you to pay more. And you know what we've been doing since the pandemic started. We may be the only city that used general fund to bring assistance to the residents, like rental assistance program, like help with mortgage and other things related to COVID-19. We just pass. All we are doing is everybody, that's a requirement, and we are just doing that. Council member, let's start with District 1.
Sure, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've had the same water rates since 2014. We didn't raise in 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. So even though the cost of doing business has been rising all of that time, we kept our rates artificially down. How did we do that? We reached into the general fund and we pulled about $1 million forward to cover the difference between what it really cost us to do business and what our rates were as of 2014. We talk about wanting to be a more fiscally responsible city, eliminating the debt that we have. $1 million a year of that debt was being fake and keeping the water rates low. So this is something the state told us we have to do. This is obviously a more prudent way of doing business. And that good old utility plant, the Winston Water Plant, opened when John F. Kennedy was president. I'm not saying that to be facetious. JFK was president of the United States. We are asking for problems if we don't start to upgrade our infrastructure. So the reason I'm supportive tonight is because it's long overdue and we've got to do it.
And on top of that, that's the letter from the county, and the rate went up for the next 5 years, and that's what we are following. Speak to.
I think I can echo every resident, even my colleagues up here, when we say, every 3 months where we pay that utility bill. I know we like to call it a water bill, but it's really a utility bill because sometimes sanitation is not included in other cities' utility bills. So like for Miami Garden, for instance, is in their property tax. So I know we're paying for 3 services on that bill, but if you guys can tell us what does that 4% and that 6% equate to in terms of a property's someone's utility bill, so that the residents can have that in the
Per
bill.
month.
Yeah, per month or per quarter.
It's about $6.83 per month for each bill. That's based on a consumption of about 15,000 gallons per day. That's our average consumption. So that would be generally what goes up.
I mean, the average price for the water, if they use about 1,000 gallons for the quarter, usually it was about $34.95. Now I checked mine, it went up $4 and something, is $39 a quarter. That's the average.
And I know we talk about the cost of like improvements, and I know on this agenda we have improvements to our waterways pump, the 1 million project tab K, and then we also have the
Do we have public works here?
public works. So these are the type of improvement projects that we'll be funding.
Public works, can you come
Through those.
forward, please?
Well, I think when we get to their items, I just want.
I just want to, I have a question for them. And if they have an idea, we can.
To say, because I think
Yeah.
this is over a period of years that we have certain projects that
Yeah.
we must fund in order to, adequately supply our water supply. I know we put out the CCR, that booklet that we used to work on, that talks about the improvements that are needed to our water supply.
And Mr. Pierre Louis, can you tell me how much money we spent on infrastructure, water and sewer last year? Do you have an idea between the pump stations and water line that we fixed?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Whistler Pierre Louis, Public Works Director. Ballpark, I know we have one project that's wrapping up. That was about $1 million. That's one pump station. We have some in design phases. I want to say it's probably about $3 million, ballpark average, is what we spent on the
how much we have in this
infrastructure.
budget, in this upcoming budget?
For capital projects?
Yeah.
It's actually included in the report. So for this year in our CIP, we have $24 million for the water and $2 million for the sewer, $26 million.
That you're gonna spend?
That was anticipated to spend based on the bulk of it being from the water treatment plant. However, the funding hasn't been secured.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Oh, yeah, and just to also add, I know that when we're doing all of these improvement projects, just so that the public is aware that this is also coming from the water enterprise. So from the study, from what I understand, is that this is a 5-year plan. If we do not continue to increase our rate, we will not be able to fund these type of projects, correct?
Yes, that's correct, Councilwoman.
Okay. And then lastly, I'm also in the business of maybe trying to find solutions because we're going to expect calls. I know Councilman Alex Asome, started a utility fund that can assist residents who are, who do need assistance. And I know that's something that maybe staff can take a look at. But we also have penalty fees that comes from Waste Pro. And I don't think those penalty fees were allocated to a certain fund. So we're getting penalty fees from Waste Pro because they're missing pickups. And these are resident services that they are not doing adequately. So if maybe we can direct staff to see what we can do with those penalty fees that's coming from Waste Pro, maybe send it to the fund, maybe create another assistance program. Do we know how much did we receive in penalty fees last year?
We did not have penalty fees as of last year. That was something that was new, that was brought into this year. So I believe they go on each kind of like a quarter. From what I know, the last collection was about 13,000. It may have been one more collection after that I'm not sure what the amount was, but the first one was about 5,000. Next one's 8,000. There on average, the penalty is around about 8,000 in terms of missed pickup.
So,
And
because my thing is, in my budget briefing with staff, there was a number. I forgot the number that was thrown around, but there was money allocated from the
for
board.
utility, we
Yeah.
have about 400,000 from the ERP money for
So yeah, there
to
was,
bring assistance for utility
Yeah,
to
in
the
AR
resident.
that's correct. In
Yeah.
ARP there is, but in terms of the penalties that we've collected from
Waste Pro.
Waste Pro, that's different.
Yeah.
We've only collected, I believe, on 2, we're almost on the 3rd collection, but it's averaging anywhere between 5,000 to 8,000.
And so that's just revenue coming back to the city, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So maybe
But
that's something
but
that
400,000 already in the ERP
Yeah.
fund is put aside to bring assistance to residents who cannot afford the water bill. That means already there, and we did that in the last COVID money that we received. And as a matter of fact, the CRA about 2 months ago, and anybody with a big bill who haven't paid a bill for 1 or 2 years that exceed over $1,000, we were able to clean that to the CRA, and they spent over $60,000 in writing checks to help the residents out. It's been money coming from the CRA paid to the city of North Miami. That's been, as far as helping the residents, helping the community, we've been doing that. That's it's not something new. It's not something that we're gonna try to do since COVID, since the emergency of COVID. We've been helping people in different ways, and if we have to do that, we're gonna continue to do that. But as far as the rate, that's a requirement that's need to be done, and that's why we are doing it. While we are doing that, we put in almost $500,000 from the money we receive from the federal government to help residents with the utility bill, including water and light. That's been, we've been doing it. It's not new to us.
And then my last question, I know we haven't raised rates since 2014, but is that something that we should, should we have done it annually at a less aggressive amount? So now it's not 6 and 9%, but it was, 1.5 this year, another 2% this year. So it's like a gradual increase and not just this one time, is that something that staff should maybe implement to ensure that, hey, the board that's up here 5 years from now understand that every maybe 2 years, 3 years, whatever the state recommends, whatever, studies recommend, but maybe we should be looking at this long term, because to say that we haven't raised the rate 2014 and knowing that the cost of water continues to go up is a bit negligence on our part.
And I'm sorry, Councilman, I got to jump in here. That was made abundantly clear to this council for all of those years. The budget always said we have to raise the rates, and you're right, it would have been a lesser amount. And the council members, and as a majority, and it wasn't all the folks
Keep
that are up here,
subsidizing the rate.
subsidizing, yeah.
From the Solemia money every year.
Right. So I don't want us to fault staff and say, but
they always recommend that.
Right.
They always that. It's
they made
us,
it abundantly clear.
and that decided no, we're not going to do it until now. We get to almost a crisis where we have to. We have no choice. Either we raise property taxes by $500, $600, $700, or you pay that extra $5, $6, $7 a month as required.
So maybe
we purchase water from Miami-Dade County. They increase the rate, and all we are doing is pay the rate. So,
no, and I understand it. It just kind of sucks that we're in the middle of a pandemic still, and people are looking for employment or can't keep up with their utility bills. But I think as a council, maybe this is the time for us to set a policy that says, hey, if staff is recommending every 2 years a 1.5% gradual increase.
No, that's a policy decision. It's depend of the time. Now, if we had money, maybe we will continue to do so. Since we don't have it, that's why we make that decision to pass it on to the resident. But we don't want to say tied by something like that. Say it's a recommendation, and then we're going to decide to do so. Now let's move on District 3.
I just wanted to make one correction in terms of the collections with respect to Waste Pro. In the third quarter, we did receive $25,000 in penalties for the third quarter.
Can you? I didn't hear
Can you
that.
speak?
25,000 in penalties for the third quarter with Waste Pro.
So that's just for a third quarter. So that wasn't for the whole fiscal year.
That's correct. That wasn't for the whole fiscal year.
So yeah, maybe we can.
Add that to the ERP money. Thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Again, I don't think any one of us sitting up here, but I'm going to especially speak for myself, want in this time of pandemic to be the time that we are voting on to increase anything that's going to affect the resident. But I do understand that it is as leaders, we have to be responsible. And to my residents that are hearing me, I know it's not comfortable, and I know I don't want to pay it, but I have to pay it as well. As a single mom, I think I'm probably the one more impacted here on this dais, but I would rather be more responsible and have you pay $5, $6 more than having to pay hundreds of dollars or finding millions of dollars and having a crisis like Flint. I think we have to be responsible. As usual, the city of North Miami is a city that anytime anybody has hardship, we find ways to help. So anybody that would have hardship, I'm sure that we would be instructing the city manager or the city administration to make sure that we are working, we're making plans like we do now. So again, I am going to be supporting this. This is not fun, but it is responsible, and that's what I'm going to do.
Thank you very much. Councilman Desulme.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I may be the minority in the group with this. I do think this is a little bit different, and we have been kicking the box, or however we want to phrase this, for the past few years, because I remember years ago we had prior administration when we were supposed to start fixing the infrastructure of our real damaged water plant. And we started collecting money from the residents, and that stopped. And then it started again. So to kind of blame it's back and forth. So the residents really has not much to do with the blame here, because we did have administration that was not responsible for a lot of the stuff that happened. I mean, I've been in this city for over 20-something years, so I do remember this is not the Flint crisis. Flint, because I hear Flint is a contamination that happened with some lead, and this is not where we're going. I have always said, and I've told the administration, I do not mind voting for an increase, because I do understand that things things have to go up. However, the manner, and I think the councilwoman was going at it, is a little bit different on how we do things, because humanity is one thing, but we are in a phase where, when I look around and I don't agree with the direction how things are going, and I cannot sit here and say consciously that we have to do this, because we don't. So going at it and increasing it, this is $42 million we are asking in the next 5 years that the residents will have to pay. So yes, it's $6 a month, but when you add it, it's 9% overall with the sewer. And when you look at the breakdown of it, I don't think the cost of the planting, you see pension, which I don't have no problem with, but we got to talk about the real cause of this thing. There's some things that are in there why we need to do this, which I think we could have the conversation and we could really talk to the community and say, hey, we're in a bind right now. We all need to kind of give what we need to give, and we all will understand that. But I cannot sit here and see, staff salaries going way high, and we asking the folks to do what needs to be done where this is extremely hard. So I am not in support of this item. If this was increasing very little, I would understand, but these residents, $800, you have the majority of these folks getting, on Social Security. And they are having problem right now paying where it is. And $6 may seem like nothing, because to us it's nothing, because, we probably get a salary that's way more than that. But the average person that's getting $800 a month, that's not increasing. That's already having a problem, because they're coming here, because we've been, for the past 4 years, we've been, alarming this. This is going to be a problem. And when you look at the problem that we are hearing on the street, and then you look at our budget, and then you're looking at what's going on, there could have been a way that this would have been done. I don't like this 5 years, $42 million going out like that. So no, this is not a policy. I do understand it's something that we have to do. That part I understand we have to do it, but the manner of which we are doing it, I don't like it, and I don't like the fact that we spending like it's no tomorrow. And if you look at what this thing is going to do, the revenue, requirement and all of that within the report, it does not sustain, me voting in terms of supporting that we have to do this. So that's my little intake with this item. Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me correct something, and Councilman Desmond made. That's responsibility. We have a water plant that produces 5.2 million gallons a day. What you want us to do for the rest of the people? We're not in a third world country. I do understand people are making $800, but they need water. No matter what, they need to find a way to give to water. We need to find a way to fund the police department. When they call 911, whether they're making $5 or $6 an hour, the police need to show up at the door. The garbage need to be picked up. That's when those are service provided to the residents, whether they want it or not, we need to provide that as a city. Who's going to pay for it?
Okay,
And for the past 6 years, let me finish.
Yes, sir.
For the past 6 years, I've been here for about 8 years. We received $20 million from Solemia. What we did? Subsidize the water. Every year, we said no increase, no increase, no increase. People cannot afford it. They will never be able to afford it. Even it's the way it is right now, even if we give them a discount of $150 every quarter, they won't be able to pay. But we need to provide the service. We need to repair the stations. All those things need to be in compliance with the water management. When they send you, I remember 2 years ago, they sent us a memo said we need to update 5 or 6 stations who's not in compliance with Miami-Dade County water management. We have to find the money, and it's not the general fund, it's the enterprise fund. That's when it's not money that we're going to take to do something else. It's going in the enterprise fund. I could come here and say, okay, since 3 people said they're going to vote for it, as mayor, I can say, okay, vote. We have the vote, and I vote no. But that's not responsible. It's just playing politics for something that, okay, it's people don't want to increase the water. Okay, good, you voted no. But that's not leadership. Leadership, you need to take responsibility. I understand they cannot afford it. But who's going to pay the other $8 million, 8 million gallons a day of water from Miami-Dade County? We're buying water from Miami-Dade County. That's what we're doing. If you can tell the city manager where to get the money to pay for it, she will do that.
Okay. Can I respond?
Yes.
Based on the report, Mr. Whistler, so the increase is less than 1% of the population in the next few years. So what's the percentage of the $42 million that would be used to fix the water plant? Because I didn't think this had
The money is for the, not
wait,
for the
hold
water
on, Mr.
plant.
Mayor.
You said
Well-
water plant, we have to, no, it's two different things. It's
We
not
did
water
mention
plant.
that. Okay, wait,
It's
wait.
to meet our requirements when
Yes.
it comes to pump station,
To-
when it comes to fix our pipes.
Yes, well, that's
Not
part
just
of that's part of the water system. So to fix the water pipes, to use the terminology correctly, or Madam Manager or Mr. So how much of the
I think what
$42
we have to
million?
do, I think what we have to do is better to bring back and the consultant, because in the previous presentation, they explained us how much money we need to spend on the next 5 years, and that's why we are doing that. If we can table that, for them
No.
to come up with that plan, and so you can have a clear vision on exactly what the money is going to do. People can say $40 million in 5 years, but in the plan, we have to spend that money within 5 years.
Miguel Augustin, Finance Director. The information that the $40 million is like the aggregate number. We do have that information presented in the report
Exactly.
annually. So, for example, in fiscal year 2022, for the water projects, Mr. Pierre Louis said it was 24 million. Those relate to water distribution, the water treatment plant, the distribution system, the meter replacement. Those are the different projects that were slated in the capital plan for 2022. And likewise, those are multi-year projects. So, for example, the water distribution plant is slated to continue through 2025. The water treatment plant is a 2-year project, so it's supposed to be for 2022, 2023. So as these projects come online, there's going to be not only costs to fund them internally, but also the debt service, the loans that we'll have to take out are going to have to be repaid as well. So the plan is taking into account not only the costs that are coming from capital costs, but also the debt service plans and maintenance costs as they increase as well.
How much is the debt service?
Well, for let's see.
Is it the 29 million?
Talking about the revolving loan from the state?
Correct.
How much? It was 38 million, huh? Overall, how much we spent on it already?
So the debt service is expected to be for 2022, 600 for combined. We're talking about both the water and the sewer projects. 619 coming online in 2022. Same for 2023. It's going up to 877,000 in 2024, and then in 2025, 2.5 million, and 2026, 2.5 million. And that's expected to continue because the debt is going to be paid over a long period of time. So we get the benefit of having to pay by doing it by debt financing, to pay it over time, longer period of time at low interest rates from the state. That gives us a lot of flexibility in terms of cash management as well.
And that's the 1.5, or that's the 2% over the 20 years term of that's the
correct.
The revolving loan.
The revolving loans, exactly.
Okay, so on top of the whatever that we receive from this, we borrowing about 30 million from the state.
Right, because
So it's about 50 in a way. Oh,
Well,
60.
well,
40 plus 30
Per
plus
year.
70.
well, the cost we take into account the cost of the project
Yes,
as well as
the loan.
the loan.
So that's
the repayment of
70.
the loan.
About
No, the
70
loan
something.
it's yearly, 1 point something yearly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's spread out
So
over
in
time,
30
so it's-
years or 20
Yeah,
years.
1.5 percent annually, and then so total it's almost going to be like 80 million dollars in almost around there by the time we're done.
We're not going to be done as long as you are a water plant. You're going to have to fix it every year throughout the life of the city.
I know that, Mr. Mayor. I'm just listen. I know. I'm just stating
but
the
40
fact
million
that,
for 5 years plan, when the 5 years come, maybe you're gonna need another 5 years plan for the next thing.
Well,
That's something that's continuing.
so if we have, right now you have, how many residents, is it 18,000 residents,
meters?
customers, or under 20,000?
Well, combined with commercial, we have about 22,000.
22,000.
How many residents? Because now
18,000.
commercial,
18,000.
18,000.
So with the 22,000, but the report says the growth should not be more than, the customer should not be, well, half of the, 0.5, and then the less than 1%, the forecast from the 2023 to 2026. So looking at the historical projection of the customer, so we won't get to, based on what they're saying. So this is really to fix the infrastructure that we have now.
Right.
And that was my point. We've been going at this, and I do understand what Councilman Gavin been saying for years, and we kind of manage. And Mr. Mayor, I do understand we are where we are. We just don't have money. We are in a community that doesn't have money, and we do have to balance it all. And I've said it.
That's why we put
It's
aside
not that, well,
$500,000 to take care of those who cannot afford it.
Yeah, but yes, I understand. But my only, my take on this is that there's different ways that we could have done this, and that's just my only way. That's my stand on.
Wait, Councilman. Okay, you said we have different way. Understand? It's two funds. You have the general fund and the enterprise fund. We're talking about the enterprise fund. What way we think we can go? If we tell us what way, maybe it can be good, and so we can move with it instead of doing that.
Well, I believe we already passed the budget, so
No,
we left that shift
enterprise fund.
already.
You have nothing to do with the budget.
Well,
the general fund is
somewhat
one
it
thing.
does.
The enterprise is something else. The budget always can be amended throughout the year.
I mean, $42 million for 5 years and now it's $80 million. Because I didn't count.
No $80 million.
It is 80, Mr. Mayor, because we're borrowing from the state over the 20 years.
The 42, you
Plus,
have the debt service from the 42 for the 5 years, because every year we have to pay between $1.5 and $2 million debt service. That's
from the
already
30.
included in the 40. No.
Right? Am I lost?
We have $2 million a year for the next 20 or whatever the rest of the loan.
Is this report correct or?
It is. So we use the proceeds of the loan to finance the cost of the project.
So, but that's different from the 42 you are asking us to approve tonight.
No.
This is what?
The 42, you're talking about the...
Yeah, for the next
Action.
5 years. The 42 that will be coming is different from the loan from the state.
It is.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is funds that we are going to have to raise to be able to pay the debt service.
To pay
as
the
well
debt
as-
service.
Right.
It's the same.
The debt service as well as the project cost. So it's not just the debt service.
Question,
Yes.
please. I know that Councilman Desume, that there was a fund that was created to help.
Listen, we have $500,000 from the ARP. We have plenty of money to bring us. That's what we've been doing forever. I don't know why some people think that the city of North Miami been doing things no other city's been doing. As far as rental, when it comes to rentals, assistance, and all the programs, we should get rewarded for all those things, those social service that we bring to the people. I don't know, right now I see some people are talking about what the city's been doing for one resident, and they're talking about that when we've been doing that forever for the past 8 years that I've been here. Subsidize the water, subsidize the sewer of the people, and since COVID, we may be the only city that take money from the general fund to bring assistance to the residents when it comes to rental assistance program. We have thousands of people from the CRA and the general fund. There is nothing new for the city of North Miami. If you guys want to talk about social service, social help to the people, you got to go elsewhere, not here in the city of North Miami. We've been doing that. And as a matter of fact, even the state don't want us to take money from the general fund to assist people. Well, we've been doing it. Council, are you done, Councilwoman?
I think you're done for me.
Yes. Thank you.
I think, Mayor, I think this is a hard decision that we all have to swallow, especially for me, knowing that I have a 423 bill to pay this quarter. But, you know, it's just what we have to do. We haven't raised rates since 2014. It's unfortunate. We should have done it, you know, progressively.
I don't like that word.
But, you know, I'm just saying.
We've been subsidized the
You've
water.
been subsidizing.
Yeah, that's
and you
why
haven't
it's better
increased.
to use that.
And you haven't increased rates since 2014. And now we're in 2021, in the middle of a pandemic, and now we have to raise rates. Everything is going up. Gas is going up. Rents are going up, you know. But, you know, there's a crisis in Miami-Dade County right now for housing. Florida is now the second most expensive place to live when you just think about what's happening right now with our economy. So this is a hard bullet that we all have to just pass. But it's like you said, it's leadership. It's what we have to do is either this or property taxes. Next, you know, Lord knows what's going to be next. So with that, Mayor, I'm
What happened?
No, I said Lord knows what we'll have to raise next.
We have to thank the President Biden for giving us $20 million to offset our revenue or deficit. If it wasn't that, what we would do? We have to thank the administration, and man, that's
no, I understand.
Thank people who went and vote for this administration, because if it wasn't them, what we will do? They will give the money to the governor, and the governor will decide what city or what county to give more money than another. It will be we won't be even talking about
no,
this.
I understand.
It will be chaos.
With that, Mayor, I motion to approve this item.
Second.
Madam Clerk.
I have a motion made by Councilwoman Timothy to approve the item at tab F. The motion was seconded by Councilwoman Estimé Irvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries with a 4-1 vote. Tab G, a proposed resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, authorizing the execution of lease amendments, easements, and deeds for the transfer of city-owned land located along Northeast 151st Street from Biscayne Boulevard to Bay Vista Boulevard to Miami-Dade County for roadway improvements along 151 Street, further authorizing the city manager to take all actions necessary to accomplish the conveyance of said property, including the execution of any other relevant documents that may be required to effectuate the transfer and facilitate the roadway project, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes. Tab G.
Thank you very much. Madam City Manager, do we have a presentation? I see the Public Works Director.
You're just going to describe the item.
Sure. Thank you, Manager. Through the Mayor. This item is an improvement to 151st Street east of Biscayne Boulevard, going to FIU, the university. This project will address a lot of the concerns and complaints along the road. Councilman Galvin probably gets most of them. Some of them pertain to traffic with the shoppers and residents leaving the Costco off the Solomia site, making a turn off of Solomia Bend. There's also, we get a lot of drainage complaints about Solomia Way. The street, when there's any type of rain event, it gets flooded. Also, the police department, they are very involved with the traffic when it comes to school, with entering or exiting schools from the site. And this area east of Biscayne Boulevard is expanding. There are more plans for FIU to expand. There'll be a high school built there as well. So I'll just read a part of the background into
how much money we spending? How much money they're spending every time?
This project is fully funded by Miami-Dade.
How much? That's what I said.
I have someone from Miami-Dade here who can give you the exact dollar amount. They're in support of this item, in addition
Yes,
to
sir.
Solomia and our police department. Mr. Leo Cunha is here from
Leo
Miami-Dade.
Oña, Department of Transportation and Public Works, Miami-Dade County. We have two projects. The first project, which Mr. Lewis is describing, is about $8.5 million that we're spending. We have a subsequent project adjacent to it on Bay Vista Boulevard, which is another $7.5 million. So we're spending about $17 million, more or less.
Thank you very much, sir. Let's open it to the public. Public hearing is open on the item. Okay. Public hearing is now closed.
Move approval.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve the item at tab G. The motion was seconded by Mayor Bieneme. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
Thank you very much. And tab H, a quasi-judiciary, and Madam Clerk.
Please be advised that the following item on the agenda is a quasi-judicial item. If you wish to speak in favor of, object to, or comment on an item, please complete a public speaker's card indicating the agenda item number on which you would like to comment. You must be sworn in before addressing the City Council, and you may be subject to cross-examination. If you refuse to submit to cross-examination, the City Council will not consider your comments in its final deliberation. Please also disclose any ex parte communications you may have had with any members of the City Council, and City Council members must do the same.
Thank you
I'm
very
going
much.
to swear everyone in at the same time. So if you are giving testimony today on the item at tab H, please raise your right hand as I issue the oath. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give in these proceedings will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, say aloud, I do. Thank you. Tab H, a proposed quasi-judicial resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, approving the proposed final plat entitled North Miami Storage, the same being a replat as further described in the attached Exhibit 1, specifically identified with Miami-Dade County Folio Number 06-2230-000-0111, and generally located in the southeast quadrant of Northeast 135th Street and Memorial Highway in accordance with Chapter 29, Article 3, Division 8, Section 3-806 of the City of North Miami Code of Ordinances, Land Development Regulations, Chapter 28, Section 28-8 of the Miami-Dade County Code of Ordinances, and Chapter 177, Part 1, Sections 177-071 through 177-091, Florida Statutes 2021, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes. Tab H.
Thank you very much, Madam City Manager.
Tanya Wilson, presentation for the
Thank you.
council.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tanya Wilson with Community Planning and Development. The request before you is for approval of a final plat. The property again is located at the southeast quadrant of Northeast 135th Street and Memorial Highway. It's comprised of 1.45 acres in size. The property is currently zoned C1 commercial with a land use of commercial. This site should look familiar to the Mayor and Council. Previously, the site plan has already been approved back in June of 2020. The tentative plat also came before you in August of 2020. So this stage now is a request for the final plat approval. The item has been reviewed by the Miami-Dade County Plat Committee. They've recommended approval for this facility. And if approved tonight, it will allow for the construction of 124,368 square foot storage facility. You can see on the map the location of the property is in District.
Thank you very much. Let's open it to the public. Public hearing is open on tab H. Public hearing is open on tab H. Public hearing is now closed.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Jerry, if I could say just a couple of words.
Yeah.
Snatch victory from the jaws.
Jerry Proctor, attorney, 7600 Red Road, South Miami, representing this item. We support the item. both the staff report and the comments by Ms. Wilson this evening. I'm joined by Paul Tremblay, our project consultant, and the report and the summation is accurate. We're here to answer any questions. We ask for your support. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can I have your motion on tab H?
So moved.
Second, but I just have questions, please.
Oh, go ahead.
Proctor?
Go ahead.
So once approved, when will construction commence and end?
We hope construction will commence in the early part of next year. Permits are in progress now.
Madam Wilson, my understanding is once this is approved, they have to pull permits within 180 days?
Correct.
Okay, and that's definitely in the plan to do,
The-
sir? That
I'm
you
not-
have to pull permits within 180 days?
We do. We're within that time frame. We have to apply within a certain time frames. That has occurred, and we will comply going forward with the resolution that the council granted last June.
Okay, so you said by next year, you should be completed, correct?
We will begin construction.
Begin construction?
Yes. Yes.
Do you have an approximation of when you'll begin construction?
I hope it will be in the first quarter of next year. We're in the permit process now, and since we're in the final quarter of this year, we're hopeful that we can begin construction in the first quarter of next year.
And it will take you about 12, how long will it take for completion?
About 1 year.
About 12 months?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Motion on the floor and a second.
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve the item at tab H. The motion was seconded by Councilwoman Estime Irvin. Councilman Desame, how do you vote?
No.
Councilman Galvin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mayor Biename, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilwoman Estime Irvin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilwoman Timothy, how do you vote?
Yes.
Motion passes. Motion carries with a 4-1 vote.
Thank you very much.
Tab I.
Tab I, a proposed resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, authorizing the city manager to execute a second option to renew professional services agreement in substantially the attached form between the City of North Miami and Risk Management Associates, Inc., doing business as Public Risk Insurance Advisors, to provide the city with police professional liability insurance coverage at a cost not to exceed $265,340, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes. Tab I.
Thank you very much. Let's open it to the public. Public hearing is open on tab I. Public hearing is now closed. Council members, can I have a motion to approve
Move
his
to
insurance?
approve.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilwoman Estime Irvin to approve the item at tab I. The motion was seconded by Councilman Galvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries with a 5-0.
Tab J.
Tab J, a proposed resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, ratifying the submittal of a grant application and authorizing the city manager and city attorney to negotiate and execute an agreement between the City of North Miami and the Florida Department of Environmental Protection to secure grant funds in support of the city's septic to sewer conversion program, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes. Tab J.
Thank you very much. Let's open it to the public. It's from septic to sewer. It's to apply for a grant. Is that correct?
That's correct. We actually applied for the grant and worked with our state lobbyists for applying for the grant. So this is a ratification of the grant submittal.
Thank you very much.
I want to
Public.
move for approval, but I have a question.
We open it to the public and then after, yeah. Public hearing is open. On tab G. K. Public hearing is now closed. Yes.
Yes, thank you. Madam City Manager, I guess through Public Works, I have a couple of questions. Thank you so much. I'm really happy to see this septic to sewer conversion. I just want to understand once, how will it apply? Do we already have a list of where we're converting it? Is this going to be free to the resident? Could you just elaborate on that from you, please?
So there was a few years ago, there was a report about our septic to sewer. During that time, we identified about 221 properties that would need the conversion. We average that it's about 15,000 per property. We would work with different homeowners who would want to apply for this to get the funds once if we were to receive the grant. We do believe, though, this would probably cut us a little bit short on what the total amount is needed. We think that around $5 million would be the total amount that would be needed to do the entire city. So once we got the grants, we would devise the plan on how the program would work and who would be able to apply for the septic to sewer.
Okay, so I'm glad to hear that there's going to be a program. All of you that are living on Third Court, I hope you're watching to be ready for this, to apply for this when this becomes available. I know a lot of the septic to sewer conversion need to happen in my district, in the Memorial Highway, Third Court. I just
Is that
hope.
a part of the CRA?
I'm sorry? No,
Oh.
that part is not a part of the
yeah, it
CRA.
was
It was the
after.
part that was incorporated in 2014. But thank you so much. That's what I wanted to get on the record.
I have a question too, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Because I was actually in discussion with Senator Pizzo and our lobbyist Ron Book about the state program that they have, a similar grant program where there's a 80% funding from the state, 80% grant and 20% loan that the state will provide the city. I'm not sure if this is the same one because I know this one is offering a 50% grant. Senator Pizzo also did something similar in El Portal where he was able to get them $10 million for their septic conversion. So I've been working and discussing with him to see how we can address those 221 septic issues that we're having in the city. So I'll reach out to his staff as well to ensure that we're applying for that grant because there is a state loan that we can apply for so that we don't have to put up the $1 million matching grant for this project. Because would that come from the enterprise fund, the match?
That would come from the enterprise fund, but we are also working with their office and trying to find the funds that can match it. But we did work on this through Ron Book's office and submitted that. So they've worked with us and they also worked with the senator's office in terms of applying for this grant.
Okay, and are we also looking at ARP? Because I know we also set aside money in ARP for septic sewer conversion as well.
There was an allocation, but that allocation would be something that could subsidize this one. Additionally, there was an allocation, I understand, from the CRA. So if we can combine all the dollars, then at some point we would hope to get the amount that it would need to fulfill all of our septic to sewer conversions in the city.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Motion made by Councilwoman Estimé, second by Councilwoman Cassandra Timothée. Madam Clerk.
I have a motion made by Councilwoman Estimé Urban to approve the item at tab J. The motion was seconded by Councilwoman Timothy. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
Tab L.
Tab K.
Tab K.
A proposed resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, approving the City Administration's competitive selection of BLDM USA LLC as the lowest responsive and responsible bidder to provide all labor, equipment, materials, services, and expertise required to complete the rehabilitation of wastewater pump station A in accordance with the terms, conditions, and specifications contained in invitation for bid number 55-20-21. Further authorizing the city manager and city attorney to negotiate and execute an agreement with BLDM USA LLC for the provision of services in an amount not to exceed $1,241,069, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes. Tab K.
Thank you very much. Yes.
All right. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. For the record, Alberto Estrada, Purchasing Director. The item that you have before you represents the results of bid solicitation 55-2021 issued by my office to request bids from qualified and experienced contractors for the rehabilitation of Pump Station A, which is located at 1100 Northwest 125th Street, and to request your approval.
What's the address?
1100 Northwest 125th Street, and to request your approval of the bid award to the lowest responsive, and responsible bidder. As reflected in the report submitted in support of this item, the bid opening for solicitation 55-2021 was held on September 3rd of this year, and the results are included in the report. The lowest bidder was the firm BLDM USA LLC with a bid of $1,241,069, which includes a project contingency amount of $100,000. This bid amount is significantly lower than the cost estimate that was provided to the city by the engineering consulting firm AECOM for this project, with an amount of $1,307,330. This is the cost estimate from our consulting engineer. Based on a review of the proposed bidder by staff and our consultant, we are recommending approval of the bid award of this project to BLDM. The estimated duration is approximately 360 days from issuance of notice to proceed. Here with me to provide the council with additional information regarding the proposed project is our Public Works Director, Mr. Whistler Pierre-Louis.
Yes, sir.
Good evening. Just to include in the report the scope of work for this project, the contractor will perform a structural rehabilitation of the existing pump station. They'll install hoists and piping handrails. All of these components will increase the safety for our staff when they have to maintain the pump station. They'll also address the odor complaints that we received over the year. There'll be a new odor control system that'll be installed.
Complaints from who?
From the neighborhood, from the residents that we've received odor complaints. So this project will help address that. They'll install a new odor control system at the pump station. This pump station
What was the complaint?
Smell.
Oh, smell. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
This pump station is located adjacent to Sasso Pool. We'll also remove the existing ship ladders, check valves, pump bases. We'll add a hatch and a wet well, and we'll improve the electrical system as well. If you go to the site, you'll see that it's rusted. The doors are rusted, the conduits, and it's all from sewer gases. So all of these improvements have been made to increase the safety and improve the quality of life for the neighborhood, and also provide sewer service. This pump station is the largest pump station in our sewer system, so it's very imperative that we have it in good working order. We also have the contractor here and the consultant, the design engineers here as well.
The contract is $1.2 million, right?
Yes, sir.
Where are you getting the money from?
This project was budgeted. It's coming from the Water and Sewer Utility Fund.
Okay. From the water and sewer bill. Yeah. And did we open? Did we open it to the public?
Oh, just through which district is that again?
It's in District 4.
Thank you. And let's open it to the public. Public hearing is now open. On tab K. Public hearing is now closed. Council members?
Move approval.
Second.
I just have one question. He mentioned that this was next to the
You
pool.
got to let the councilman second. That's his project. That's his district. We are spending $1.2 million for water improvements in his district.
In my
He
district?
didn't want to vote the money to, and he's going to vote
Mr. Mayor,
to get
we
the
don't
pump
wanna go
station
there.
fixed.
Let's not go there. We don't want to do that.
But I do have a
Go ahead.
question.
Go ahead.
You mentioned that this was across from the pool. Would this, would the construction affect the pool as well? Like, would the pool have to be shut down or anything? Because he did say it was near Sasso Pool.
Councilwoman, there won't be adverse impacts to the operation of the pool. Everything will be outside of the area of the pool. We'll actually even improve the parking lot that is on the north side of the pool as well as part of this project. The contractor will have to provide a MOT plan. They'll coordinate all of their construction with the city, so we'll do as much as possible to minimize any adverse impacts to the pool or the neighborhood.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. Thank you.
Thank you very much. There's a motion, a second on the floor, Madam Clerk.
No, Mr. Mayor, we got a comment after council.
I don't have a comment.
Oh, I do actually. Where's the contractor, Mr. Pierre-Louis? Oh, you here? Okay. How you doing? Yes, can I ask you a question through the manager?
Sure.
Yes, sir. How long would this project take?
The contract is for 360 calendar days. Actual mobilization for the work, it all depends on how fast we can get the building permits and MOTs and all the approvals necessary. But we feel that the time allocated for the job is appropriate. I mean, always construction projects, they have unforeseen conditions, but we feel that substantial completion for the job should be in between 10 months from the actual notice to proceed date.
My biggest question, would there be any, not interruption, but any, that order, the smell that the residents would be getting, would there be any, how would I put it, I can't say worse, but would there be any type of addition to it or while you are doing, or should it be improving?
No. What we do is that we bypass the station because we have to route the actual flow of wastewater to another location so that we can actually work on the station itself. Because part of the job is actually making structural modifications and relining and reconditioning the wet well for the station. So we bypass the station and we don't foresee that the situation will be worse than what it is right now. In fact, by the end of the project, I would say that the majority of the cost associated with the job is actually the installation of a new odor control system. And the control system, the odor control and the equipment itself and the control system to actually manage the other situation.
Okay, thank you so much. Mr. Mayor, I visited that location. We have so many residents who stay by there. Marian Ramos, some of the elderly, some of the seniors.
I know about.
The smell is.
No, all I was saying that mean that we have a lot of stations like that, like on 137
with the
on Fifth Avenue between 137 at Works Park. We have a big station like that every 3-4 months. I have to call Miami-Dade County, and it's a lot of things like that need to be fixed in the city. They've been there for 30, 40 years. And
let me ask you, the one with the Works Park, the station you're talking about, they have it's Miami-Dade, on Metro-Dade. They have the smell too?
Of course, every 3-4 months I have to.
We do a lot of pump stations, and that's always an issue. But in this particular station, it's like you're saying, it's the largest station in your system, so you can expect that to happen. But there's a lot of influence coming into that station. That's why they installed a new system, much more effective of what they have right now. It's called a scrubber. It actually takes the smell because it comes from hydrogen sulfide. What he was saying. The wastewater environment is very, very corrosive. That's why you go to all these plants and piping is all corroded and everything, and it's because of the air. So this is something that will definitely eliminate the problem for your community. Is that what you're having right now?
Okay, thank you, sir.
And by the school, by North Miami Senior High School, you see in the corner of 131st and 8th Avenue, and we have to put something in there to absorb the smell. And when Lakuti was there, and I don't know if that still happened.
And one last comment is that they were asking about whether that's going to impact the operation of the pool. No, that's not going to. The only time in which we're going to have to coordinate with the community is that the parking lot on the north side of the pool that will be repaved completely. But that can be worked out. But the operation of the pool will not be affected by the project.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk?
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve the item at tab K. The motion was seconded by Councilwoman Estimate Irvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
Tab L?
Tab L, a proposed resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, authorizing the City Manager to execute an amendment to the software maintenance and support services agreement between the City of North Miami and Tyler Technologies, Inc. to provide for upgrades to the North Miami Police Department's computer-aided dispatch (CAD) and records management systems (RMS) software at a cost not to exceed $166,950 with an annual maintenance fee for the first year not to exceed $199,062 with a 4% increase annually thereafter, providing for an effective date and all other purposes. Tab L.
Thank you very much.
Once again, Alberto Estrada, Purchasing Director. The item that you have before you is simply a request for your approval of post amendment to the Software Maintenance and Support Services Agreement between the City and Tyler Technologies to provide upgrades to the North Miami Police Department's computer-aided dispatch system, which is otherwise known by the acronym CAD, and records management system, also known as RMS software, in order to maintain an effective operation and dispatching of services as required by state and federal agencies. Staff is requesting approval of the amended Software Maintenance and Support Services Agreement with Tyler to upgrade the police department's CAD and RMS software to its latest version. This latest version introduces upgrades that will benefit our police department's communications records unit. An additional feature is its GIS functionality, which incorporates the new reporting requirements for use of force data, which is mandated by the state, and also includes geodata information. Here with me and support the item to provide you any additional information regarding the operational needs for this upgrade is our Police Chief, Larry Juriga.
Thank you very much. Tab L is open to the public. If there is any question on the dais, Chief will answer. Public hearing is open on Tab L. Public hearing is now closed.
Move approval.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve the item at tab L. The motion was seconded by Councilwoman Estimate Irvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
M.
Tab M, a proposed resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, authorizing the City Manager and City Attorney to negotiate and execute an agreement between the City of North Miami and Kimley Horn and Associates, Inc. for construction phase engineering services for 3 water main improvement projects at a cost not to exceed $184,314, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes. Tab M.
Thank you very much. Tab M.
Once again, Mr. Mayor, council members, the item before you is staff's request for your approval of an agreement with the engineering consulting firm Kimley Horn and Associates to provide the city with construction phase engineering and administration services for 3 water main improvement projects for a total not to exceed fee of $184,314.
Can you give the locations of those 3 water main improvement
3 projects? Yes, the 3 projects are on Northeast 6th Avenue at the 12-inch water main improvement project.
Where?
Northeast 6th Avenue. It's actually Northeast 6th Avenue from Northeast, excuse me, Northeast 131st Street to Northeast 137th Street, and then from Northeast 137th Street, from Northeast 6th Avenue to Northeast 6th Avenue, Northeast 7th Avenue, excuse me. So this would be known as the Northeast 6th Avenue 12-inch water main improvement project. That's the first one. The second one is at Northeast 118th Street. This is an 8-inch water main improvement project. It will be located between Northeast 118th Street from Biscayne Canal Road to West Dixie Highway, and then Northeast on West Dixie Highway, connecting to existing 8-inch pipe on Northeast 118th Terrace. And the last project will be at Northwest 7th Avenue. This will be an 8-inch water main improvement project. This is just west of Northwest 7th Avenue, from Northwest 137th Street to Northwest 141st Street, Northwest 141st Street from Northwest 7th Avenue to Northwest 8th Avenue. As part of the city's water main improvement program.
This one is on unincorporated date. That's what we don't do provide water only. to the resident of North Miami to an unincorporated date. That's mean the rate increase affect unincorporated date, Biscayne Park, and all those other city area.
As part of the city's water main improvement program to upgrade existing citywide infrastructure that is either aging or undersized, Kimley Horn was previously commissioned by this council on August 28, 2018, to prepare the engineering design packages for the projects which I just described to you. Staff is now submitting for your approval an agreement with the engineering firm Kimley Horn to provide the necessary construction phase services once the projects are awarded. And again, our Public Works Director, Mr. Wilson Pierre Lewis, is here to provide you any additional information regarding the actual scope and work of the project.
Thank you very much. Tab M is open to the public. Public hearing is open on tab M. Public hearing is now closed.
Move approval.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve the item at tab M. The motion was seconded by Councilwoman Estimate Irvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
Thank you.
I did have a question for you, Mr. Serrata. Kimberly Horn, the firm that we selected to, I know we have a vendor pool. Did we use it properly in this case, or are they specifically specified to do this type of work?
Right. They are on our CCNA list, but I'll also
Hold on. Go ahead.
I'll ask the, they are on our list, but I'll ask the Public Works Director, there's a particular reason why we're moving forward with this contract. Public Works Director will.
Through the manager, Kimley Horn is a consultant on our continuing services list. They are specifically qualified for the this type of work, water main improvements. The resolution that was passed back in 2018, we awarded the contract to do the design, permitting, and bid assistance. When the project goes into construction, it's required that the project is certified before the water main is put into service. So being that Kimley Horn designed the water main, they're the ones who are going to also inspect the work and supervise it to make sure that it's installed the way they design it, so that we can get the permit to put the water main into operation.
Okay, so you say they're gonna design their own work, or a third party is gonna design? So
they designed it, and they will also inspect it. For example, where they wanted the water main to be placed, how far they wanted it to be from other utilities. They will ensure that the contractor does it the way that it was designed.
For us regular people, that don't sound correct, but is that correct in that line of work with that service that they provide? Is that the way it works?
Yes, that's correct. They're licensed professionals.
Got it.
They submit to a permitting agency. They submit it to actually multiple permitting agencies, and they would have other parties that will also verify their work or whatever that they turned in. So it's not solely up to Kimley.
To them, okay. Yes. All right, thank you.
What did you tell them? The biggest one of the biggest in the state when it comes to those.
I just have a question though. Are they the only ones on the pool? Are there other?
No, Councilwoman, there are multiple engineers on the pool. Okay. The work has been distributed through other consultants as well. They just happen to start on this project. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Did you open it? What are we there? Where we have?
Tab N. A proposed resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami approving the Auditor Selection Committee's results for consideration by the Mayor and Council and the provision of independent auditing services in accordance with the terms, conditions, and specifications contained in RFP number 15-20-21. Further authorizing the City Manager and City Attorney to negotiate and execute an agreement with the selected firm, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes. Tab N.
Thank you very much. Let's open it to the public. Or do we have a presenter? Can you tell what it is?
If you have any questions, let me know.
Oh, for the audit, okay. Let's open it to the public. Public hearing is open on tab N, as Nancy. Tab N is open to the public. Oh, you want to speak on the items?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, go ahead.
Good evening, Mayor, Councilman, residents of North Miami, and staff. I'm Tony Brunson. I'm the managing partner of Anthony Brunson, PA, which is a full-service accounting and consulting firm. We specialize in serving governments and nonprofit organizations. I proudly stand among the finalists. RSM, which is a $2.7 billion company, organized in 1926, and Grant Thornton, a $2 billion company, organized in 1924. So I stand among giants as a small business seeking an opportunity with the city. And the question becomes, how does a small business like mine ever anticipate growing and providing accounting careers to our local community members without opportunity? Despite the nearly 100-year head start, Anthony Brunson, PA, has earned a seat at this table because we're completely, fully, and extremely qualified as a firm of veteran auditors, government auditors, and consultants to serve the city of Miami. I'm joined by a local North Miami resident, North Miami CPA, who's a business resident over the past 6 years, Hudson Robillard, and we ask that you provide that opportunity. Our value proposition is simple. We'll give you the priority attention at the best value, and we believe price savings should matter. This opportunity is unarguably much more meaningful to a firm like ours versus another account for the accounting giants. The difference is service from professionals who understand the benefits of investing in the community and also representing role models not seen enough or present for future generations. RSM has enjoyed a 5-year audit relationship with the city. Grant Thornton currently enjoys a 5+ year and ongoing relationship service MOCA. I ask the mayor and the council to provide a firm like ours an opportunity to serve the city of North Miami. Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you very much. We have to reopen it to the public. Yes, go ahead, sir.
This is Chairman Garrett, formerly of 645 Northwest 132nd Street. I will recommend Mr. Brunson's rehiring. I've seen his work. I've read his work over the last 7 years. He's done his job as a CPA. On behalf of you up there, Mr. Mayor, if I remember, in December of 2019, you were walking down the hallway up on the 4th floor, and he stuck your head in, and he spoke to Mr. Brunson. Remember that? He didn't? You reported on?
What happened?
Remember December 2018? December 2019, you were walking.
You know, I've been working on COVID. That's not
No. We go back. You were the one that stuck your head with Mr. Brunson and asked him about the audit, remember?
Okay.
Okay, if you didn't do that.
No, I don't.
You did a good job that day, okay?
I don't. Thank you.
Take it as a compliment for me. I don't give out compliments that much, according to my staff.
I don't know where you want to come. That's
okay.
I don't just say thank you without know where you come.
I will recommend that Mr. Brunson. And number 2, he is local, and he's right about the big boys. The big boys won't catch this. He would. He's pretty good at what he's doing, from my point.
Thank you very much. You have two public hearings still open?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, good evening. My name is Bob Feldman. I'm with RSM. With me is Alan Pierre as well, who's a CPA here from North Miami. I just want to say that it has been an honor to serve you all for the past 5 years. We think we've done so with distinction. There's been a number of different challenges. We've had to work with your staff. We've worked very, very closely with them. Yes, we are a larger firm, but we have paid very careful attention to this particular account. Actually, this goes back for me. City of North Miami was the first audit I did over 30 years ago when I was with another firm. So this city has meaning to me. We are the firm with the most experience. We do Miami-Dade County, we do the City of Miami, we do the City of Miami Beach. I can go on and on. We do quite a number of them. But the important thing to point out is we do provide the attention to this account to make sure that you get the attention you need. And we've been there to work by your side to be able to help you through challenges that you've had. There's some things coming up in terms of new pronouncements that are coming up where the experience that we bring as a firm will be very, very helpful as well. So we hope you give us the opportunity to continue to serve you.
Thank you very much, sir. And if another firm is there, I have to allow them to speak. We open it to the public. Public hearing is still open. On tap N, public hearing is now closed. Let's open it to councils. And I think based on the recommendation, we have 3 firms. 1 first, 1 second, and 1 third. And the committee been working on it, and they choose 1 firm as number 1 is RSM. Number 1, and I was trying to open it, get the link. You have any question? Let's start with District 1 before.
I really like, caveat, I've known Mr. Brunson for better part of 30 years. I not only like him and his firm, they've worked for us before, but I like his appeal about the local small business person getting the opportunity. I don't know if this is for you, Madam Manager, but who sat on the committee other than the mayor? And maybe the mayor wants to answer it, but how did that small business opportunity factor in the rankings, if at all?
And were they local? Like, were they, because he said he was in North Miami, right? Did they get local preference?
They're not.
No.
He's not. His offices aren't located in North Miami, but I think
I can say that I was the chair of the board, and and he was 7 proposal.
The committee.
And yes,
right.
give you the name of the committee.
Right. The committee makeup consisted of the mayor as the chair, Mr. Pierre Saliba, Ms. St. Fanny Jean Baptiste, and Mr. Jacob Ney. And all of these were approved by council. The committee makeup was approved by council on April 27th of this year. By resolution of the council, the committee was created by.
So let me clarify my question then. I know who sat on the committee. What, if any, consideration to the smaller business was afforded in the ranking? Did they ever discuss?
He wasn't the chair. When we sat down with 7 applications. We have to analyze the applications based on the quality of work that the city need, and we come up with a scoring, and ISM first, and there's another company that was second, and Mr. Branson that you're talking come up third. And I'm pretty much sure the first one, the one that came first and qualify for the local preference, that's mean they are local, and that's what it is. It's 3 firms, 1 first, 1 second, and this is the only, I think, the only RFP that allow the administration to bring 3 firms and for us to choose one of them. But before that, it will be just 1 company, the first one, and that's it, whether you take it or you don't want it.
If I can just ask Alberto, out of the 7 firms, did we have any that qualified for local preference?
Yeah.
Yes.
The 2.
Yeah, correct. Councilman was correct. There were 4 firms that submitted and applied for local preference, but only 2 qualified, and they were Markham and RSM. Markham with a local firm of Douglas R. Lupicel, CPA. RSM is using a local firm of Pierre Canel and Associates, LLC.
What, can I ask a question, Mr.
Yes.
Mayor? Yeah, out of disclosure myself, I've known Mr. Bronson many years as well. I have a question because he mentioned something regarding the local preference as well. I don't know, I know all of the top 3 have done work for the city. In terms of the local preference, because looking at the scoring, it looks like, I guess Bronson would have been number 2 or number 1 if he had local preference.
He would have resulted in number 2.
Okay, with the local preference.
If he had qualified for local.
With the local preference, in terms of that, okay. With the final score, okay, the final score, the 490, the 494, number 2, in terms of that. Go ahead, Councilwoman.
Yes, thank you so much. I have a question. Outside of the mayor, are each of the selected committee members, were they CPAs?
Yes, they are.
So Jacob Ney is a CPA?
Yes.
Okay, another question. I know that, first of all, I want to publicly thank Saint Jean-Baptiste. I know that was my appointee. Thank you so much for your participation in this activity. I know that I appointed her, but did the new councilwoman, did she have a chance to appoint someone?
Well, why are you not asking if I appointed somebody? I was here before. Oh, I know. But that was it before she.
That was before.
I know that was before she got on. I didn't appoint anyone, but I knew that I voted on the list. You know, I know the mayor, of course. Well, yeah, I know the mayor, and I know Mr. Saliba from the list, and I think your recommendation, and I don't know, Mr. Jacob. So I'm assuming those were fine committee members. But in terms of the scoring again, because I'm always, when we think about small business and special and being a small business owner, so my only concern, well, not concern, I guess issue is the local preference, or the question that Scott asked, if there was any consideration given to small business, or if that's even part of our evaluation or point process.
It wasn't a part of went for local, but being a small business or a big business, it wasn't a part of the RFP. Okay. It's qualification, the firm, and there's specific qualifications.
So I have a question for Mr. Chair, since you were in the committee.
Yes.
I noticed that, so I don't know Mr. Jacob, I must say, but I know Saint and I know Pierre Saliba, which are 2 accountants that I'm familiar with. And it seemed like they scored, well, my person actually scored 100, and the other CPA scored 93, and I noticed you scored 75 for Anthony Brunson. Do you remember? That's fair to ask. Why you
7 applicants, each of them present over 1,000 pages of documents. That's when it's not just based on one thing or not, and that's what it is. We have points for local preference and everything, and as far as qualification, firm, and everything, and I make my decision based on that.
Okay. Over to you now.
Yeah. Who's next? She's next, yeah.
So I know for the past 2 years, we've been discussing the CAFR, and there's time that the CAFR has been late. So I think just for the public, what's normally the timeline for auditing our city's grants and controls and operation? I think Miguel can probably speak to that, like the timeline, because I know normally by, in August, we're, starting to do some internal auditing by the time the books close in September and so forth, so that we can prepare for CAFR.
Again, Miguel Augustin, Finance Director. So typically, if the auditor is already engaged, we would have the auditors start their interim work, which is testing controls and doing their preliminary testing of some balances. Because remember, the year isn't closed. But we'll usually start that in August. We're kind of behind the eight ball now because of the process has carried on to this far. But typically, we'd start the process in that time frame. And then our year end is September 30th, so we'll get the trial balances and the final reports, or the initial reports to the auditors, probably in December. January is when they'll start their work, and they'll perform their audit through most of February, beginning of March, and then hope to get the report out by March. If there are any issues, then we might have to get an extension.
Have we had to get, did we have to get any extensions?
Yes, last year we had to get a couple of extensions because we had an issue that we were tussling with the auditors, but we were able to get through it.
I think for me, I too like to support local. I like to support the little guy in the race. I've been through the auditing process in North Miami, having to submit invoices and ensure that what our policy says is what we're doing internally, and ensuring that we are, submitting invoices and doing things that we should do, and we're not committing fraud. Correct. And I know we've had internal audits. I know we had forensic audits, and I know we had audit error. Was it RSM that had the Solomia error? Were they on board during that time or not?
The error wasn't the auditor; it was the city.
It was the city. Okay.
It's always on. Whether we let on the cover or
No, I
other
think it
things
was
on the city side.
Wasn't it their auditor that found that mistake? Who found that mistake?
Them.
Yeah, it was RSM.
Yeah. They don't find them. I thought you think they were responsible for the mistake.
No.
Oh, okay. I see.
Okay.
Thank you very much, and I think we have three firms: one first, one second, one third, and I make a motion to pick RSM. That was number one on the committee as the auditor for the city of North Miami. There's no second on the motion.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion that we choose Brunson and Associates, the third rank.
You have to say why. I think you have to specify the reason why we're not taking the first and the second, we're taking the third firm. Is that correct?
Yes, Mayor, that's correct.
Yeah, that's you got to say why you not taking. That's a committee been working for 8 months, over 1,000 pages of documents.
But if they give us 3 to select from, like what?
Wait, before he goes.
I understand you can pick anyone, but you have to give the reason why you.
After the vote or before the vote?
No, if I could, please. So under our normal procurement rules, when procurement comes back to you, your options are to accept the procurement, to deny the procurement, or send it back out to bid. Because of the nature of this statute allows you to bring 3 individuals. It assumes that you're going to pick the number 1, but it allows you under this statute, under this circumstances, that you can pick number 2 or number 3. The only requirement, though, under the statute is that if you pick number 2 and number 3, if you don't pick the number 1, then I have to provide the explanation of why we picked number 2 and number 3. So we would be rewriting the resolution to add a language in there explaining exactly why we picked number 3 rather than number 1. So that's why we need that information.
And when would you need that information by? Is that something that you
No, I
discussed
think
with
you
the
need
people
to
who
say,
voted yes?
you would need to put it on the record tonight
Oh,
so that we
record
can
tonight.
rewrite the resolution.
As the maker of the motion, my reasoning, and I don't know about the others, my reasoning is that I like the angle of, the little guy getting the opportunity as opposed to the large billion-dollar firms. Hats off to the large billion-dollar firms. But I'd like to see somebody smaller is not used, but smaller. Sorry. Words fail me. I can't come up with something that's eloquent.
As a second, I'll second the motion, Councilman Galvin. I too echo your same sentiments and, supporting the small dog in the fight, but also knowing that, that this person is highly capable. Also, sometimes having a new set of eyes on our internal operations can provide a different financial outlook on what our financial future is or how we're operating. I think RSM has been doing a great job, minus the two extensions, and I know, we've been working with you all for 5 years, but I think getting a fresh set of financial eyes to see it from a different outlook can also help us as well internally.
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to select Anthony Brunson, PA, for the provision of independent auditing services. The motion was seconded by Councilwoman Timothy. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Motion carries with a 4-1 vote.
Thank you.
Tab O.
Tab O. A proposed first reading ordinance of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, amending Chapter 19 of the Code of Ordinances entitled Utilities at Article 3 entitled Water by amending Division 4 entitled Rates, Charges, Fees, and Billing Procedures, specifically its Section 19-96 entitled Rates for All Consumers to restate and affirm the methodology for calculation of water rates for utility bills and to update the water rates for fiscal year 2021-2022, providing for repeal, conflict, severability, codification, and for an effective date. Tab O.
Mayor and Council, I'm just going to do the presentation on this one. I think we've spoken on this during our briefings. We also had an executive session wherein we talked about the reasons why we were doing this. So I don't want to have too much discussion from staff on why we're doing it. We just hope that you will support this item.
Motion to approve?
Let's open it to the public. No, it's fine. There's a motion on the floor, but let's open it to the public. Public hearing is open on tab O.
Mr. Mayor, before you open it to a public point of privilege, I want to record my vote as a yay. I just have to excuse myself real quick. So I just wanted to state that on the record, okay? Just in case I don't come back in time for type O. Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Yes.
Jim Garrett. Well, part of the year we live at 645 Northwest 132nd Street. Right now, my mom and I live at 111 Biscayne Boulevard, Unit 1A. I believe this is about the overage rates tables, the volumetric table that assess people for overages and everything. It used to be we only had one rate for overage, and now we have this table. And I understand the thing of the table. I understand the consumption. But I believe when you pass this, it wasn't in this form. Everything. You opening yourself up to major lawsuits. The condos already know, but my mom's condo, they talk about it all day. They also know at the Jockey Club, they've already filed lawsuits against you. And they know it at Quayside. Everything. I think we need some transparency. We need some openness. If we didn't pass this the right way, we need to be honest about it. But guess what? It's heading to court. I'm sorry, guys, and we're going to pay for it. And I'm going to be moving back inside the city in about a year and a half. I have to take care of my mom. So I have to have my own place. That's my thing, my take on it. Let's try to minimize what we did here, okay?
Thank you very much. Public hearing still open on tab O. Public hearing is now closed.
Did I motion approval already? Okay, sure.
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve the item at tab O. The motion was seconded by Councilman Desilme. Councilman Galvin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilman Desilme, how do you vote? Can you please speak into the microphone?
Yes.
Mayor Bieneme, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilwoman Estime Irvin had previously stated that she votes yes. Councilwoman Timothy, how do you vote?
Yes.
Motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
You, citizen forum, you have 2 minutes.
Jim Garrett and Minnie Sue Hendricks, 645 Northwest 132nd Street until April 30th, 2021. And then we, 111 Biscayne Boulevard, Unit 1A, outside the city, just slightly. I understand Tab F passed with a 4-1 vote. That was a hard decision. I listened to the debate on my cell phone, stuck on 995 at start at Glades at 595. Let me just point out where you're going to have people coming up here in January, February, and March with pitchforks. Page number 35, the proposed meter-based charges presented above retain no minimum allowance in water usage. You just eliminated water usage for residential customers of 15,000 gallons per quarter. You eliminated condo, apartment, townhouses, or multi-units over 4 of 5,000 gallons, and you eliminated business for 5,000 gallons per month. That's the first thing. The second, I want to read my mom's water bill inside and outside. Inside, her last water bill was 30,000 gallons. Under this rate structure, and I calculated it, according to this ordinance, it was $262.01 for water and sewer for her house, okay? The water rate was $92.28. The sewer was $169.73, okay, for current. If we were still living there, her rate would have been $167.07. It would have been an increase of 81%. Her water would have been $184.92. I mean, her sewer would have been $184.92. The rate increases 9%. Total for water and sewer, we're not looking at sanitation. Her current bill is $262.01. Her new bill, if she was still sitting there, was $351.99. It was a 34% increase. I'm willing to share all my stuff I did. I believe in sharing. The only thing I'm going to say is I will give you the article of what happened in September 1980 when this happened the last time, and how Marco Alfredo Sr. lost his seat and how I almost lost the mayor's seat.
Public hearing still open on tab on citizen forum.
Please remember that there are 2 podiums, so if you intend to speak, please start standing at the empty podiums.
Good evening, Council. My name is Sandra Dennis. I'm the Executive Director of the Miami Workers Center. We are a grassroots organization that supports tenants, workers, families across Miami-Dade County to win the resources, respect, and rights that they need and deserve. I'm here with my organizers, Ms. Kathleen and Ms. Marie. Many of our members live in this city of North Miami. They are care workers, they are tenants in your city. Last week, we heard from one of our members that they got a notice on the building that was condemned. These notices have been in English, and many of the tenants who are remaining in this apartment building only speak Haitian Creole and do not have the means for emergency relocation on their own. After being promised from council members that there would be relocation when the building got sold. We understand that this level of negligence is cruel, life-threatening, and unacceptable. Residents are not disposable, and we urge North Miami elected officials to increase protections for our most vulnerable tenants, mothers with small children, single fathers, the elderly, folks living with disabilities. Those are the folks that we saw outside, and we just met with them right before we came to this commission meeting. We would like to ensure that the city of North Miami, along with all other cities in Miami-Dade County, have protocols so that when buildings are condemned, there are people in place to assist residents because the issue would be urgent. It is urgent. We understand that everyone wants their tenants and their residents safe. We want that too for our members, and it's important that what happened with these tenants right around the corner from you all doesn't happen again. Thank you for your time and your attention, and a special shout out to the tenants of that building who stood up for themselves, who remained solid, and because of that, we were able to reach an agreement.
Thank you very much. Public hearing is still open.
William Prevotel, 11950 North Bay Shore Drive. Good evening. From tonight's session, as well as some recent sessions, we realized that a great deal of money is going out in the city. We have a great deal of expenditures. It wasn't that long ago they were talking about the budget, and that was also a challenge. We have a great deal of financial concern, yet we have little or no buffer, no reserve, really, for an emergency. These emergencies are whether it's a hurricane, some other pandemic-related item, an economic downfall. We're in a vulnerable position. I'm just calling upon the council to please consider, now that some of this other grunt work has been done, for us to consider looking at ways of us building up our funds in the form of possibly enhancing zoning, possibly in terms of utilizing the parking lot so that we can both get structured parking and get income, to do anything that we possibly can to be prepared so we can meet some of these needs. There are things that can be put in place right now across the city that can then invite and bring additional income, better quality, making the city more not just sustainable, but survivable. We need to renew. We need to do it as soon as possible because that event could take place at just about any time. And please, if you would consider that, if our focus could start to go a little bit more in that direction, I know there'll be some things that'll be proposed through community planning and development, but if the events were here, we'd go, why didn't we do that? So hopefully some of these things are out of the way, some of the other major concerns we need to take care of, and now we can look forward to enhancing our city and strengthening our city. Thank you very much for your consideration.
Thank you very much. Citizen Forum still open.
Good evening, everybody. Sebastian Semla, manager, Omega Investors Group. First of all, thank you all for your time and for your service. As a developer in the city of North Miami and having been directly involved with having to displace people, I can tell you that as eloquent and as much work as we did, it's something that's very challenging to do. Some people, unfortunately, just don't have, are not afforded certain luxuries that other people do have. Well, I think what I want to say is, as a developer in the city, I think that we need to think, we just, there's a lot of development coming to North Miami, hopefully, continue to come. And as we move forward and developers come into town, and we want to resolve some of these problems, I suggest, and I would be the first to do something like this. As developers ask for certain zoning rights or, different things that they need, that we set up a fund to help out these people. We're going to have the Johnson and Wales site that's going to come up, and they're going to need some zoning changes, and they're going to need certain things done. So let's have them contribute, because the city of North Miami has lots of buildings that are falling apart. We know that more of this will be to come. And so hopefully we can put some money aside to help the people that are in need during these times. So thank you very much for your time. And good evening.
Thank you very much. Public hearing is still open.
My name is Ford Pierre, and the reason I'm here is a problem behind my house. I bought a house in North Miami. Since I bought a house, there's a water problem, and my bill. Let's say 3 years since I bought a house. Me and my wife in the house, two of us.
Your name and your address, please. The address.
515 Northwest 140 Terrace.
515?
Northwest 140 Terrace.
Okay.
Two of us in the house. I do have a son but then I stay with me. They come visit me, but my water bill, so just like going crazy. And same money I pay since I bought a house, and I keep paying it. And when I have the first bill, I come down and explain to these people, tell them about the water bill.
Do you have a bill with you, sir?
Hey, I don't bring the bill with me because I should.
How much was your bill? A quarter. How much is your bill?
The bill come like 300 some, but the same money coming like every month. They hide it. The heavy month they hide it, but we're not using that much water. Two of us in the house, but like the water coming like almost 300 some, like it's just like we
300 for 3 months.
Yeah, 300 some 3 months, but we don't use the water. And I myself not.
But
like
you know, you have the garbage for almost $80 in that bill.
But
for the garbage to be picked up, it's not just water. It's water and sewer.
Okay, I'm not complaining.
And the garbage.
I'm not complaining about the pay the other thing, the other 80, but the problem is when I have the water bill coming out.
When the water bill, so we can analyze that and see if there is a leak at the house or something.
Yes, sir. There's a leak. There's a leak since I bought a house.
There's a leak?
Yeah,
That's when you have to hire a plumber to fix the leak and then come up before us.
I try myself to get a plumber to hire, but it's not a problem. The leak is like right behind a meter.
You're telling me the leak is outside of your property?
Yeah, it is outside of my property by the meter.
Okay.
And I come down and explain that.
We have public works here. What we're gonna do, they're gonna check, and if there is a leak for real, they should give you credit for all those water bills that you've been using because of the leak. Okay, the public works is right here. Mr. Pierre Louis. Yes, sir.
Yes, since I bought a house, there's a leak. Because when I call a plumber, somebody to fix it, and he give me a location to go downtown. Somewhere about that. He said this is for the city.
Downtown?
He told me like some place to get there because he said because nothing I could do about it. Fixed it.
What's your address?
515 Northwest 140 Terrace.
You're not an unincorporated day, no? It's in District 4 around, but it may be, but you know, yeah.
But
okay.
I don't think they even come to read the meter.
Okay. The manager is here, and you have a public works director. They're gonna address that. Okay.
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 Please.
Okay.
This really need to be taken care of. That. It's
Thank
just
you.
like a river on the back.
Okay.
So I have a previously submitted comment, Mayor.
Yes.
Junior Ramos, 1120 Northwest 125th Street. It is absolutely reprehensible that a sitting councilman will tell the Miami-Dade Fire Department to find somewhere else to have their most busiest station, all because he wasn't involved enough to ask questions, and on top of that, tells them to negotiate with the church. I guess being in North Miami has made him forget the separation of church and state.
Citizen Forum still open? Citizen Forum is now closed. Council report. District 1.
No report.
District 2. No
Thank you.
report. District
Thank you,
3.
Mayor. First, I would just like to take a moment and thank Miss Sandra Dennis for advocating for our North Miami residents. Also, our CRA staff has been spending weeks calling, different tenants, different apartment buildings, looking for vacancies, looking for apartment vacancies to see where we can relocate the last couple of residents that were at this apartment, and also Mrs. Sebastian, who has been working with us as well to provide additional assistance. I think we are going to be looking at different policies to ensure that when we are condemning buildings, that we do have funding set aside to ensure that if we have to relocate people, that we. So thank you all for that. Next, I'd like to thank the North Miami Police Department and Code Enforcement for organizing Coffee with the Cop Code. I didn't even realize this month was National Coffee with the Cop Day, so it was fitting that we did it at Macondo, a new business in District 2 that opened up, and they provided all of the coffee and snacks. They sponsored it. So it was a great event this morning, and thank you, Mayor, for coming by. Also, happy Indigenous People Day for everyone who celebrated on Monday. I wish I was off, but I wasn't. But to everyone who are celebrating, I think, especially right now, what's going on in our country, I think it's time that we recognize the holiday. And lastly, today, we're wearing pink. I'm wearing pink. Honor those who've lost, support those who are fighting and cherishing our survivors. To my aunt, Simeon, to my cousin, Jonice, who just delivered a baby while she was also getting chemotherapy. You know, this one hits home. And so to everyone, just know that you are loved and we support you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. No report in District 3. Let's.
You know that's not possible. Good evening, everyone, again. Good evening, residents, and all those who are listening, friends and residents. As usual, I'm excited. There's something going on always with us in District 3. Actually, this is the entire city. I'm excited to announce the Florida City Government Week from October 18 to the 24th. So this is the third year I know that we've been doing this here in the city of North Miami. And so we have a full of activity, COVID-free, friendly activities. On Monday, we're going to be reading to kids at Arch Creek Elementary. We're going to be exploring businesses in our city, in particular District 3. So stay tuned on NOMI TV and on social media. I'm going to do a story time with our kids at the library. We're going to have a job fair. There's going to be a business breakfast with our business persons throughout the city. We're going to have so many things. One of the fun things we're going to have is karaoke. We're going to have movie. We're going to end our the night with on the 23rd with like Grand Fiesta. We're going to honor a clergy like we normally do. So there's a lot of fun stuff. Stay tuned. Log in on our website, listen on NOMI TV so you can get some more information. And what I love about Government Week, it's an opportunity for you to engage with us, elected officials, with our employees, with our police. We're gonna have a bike ride. That's always fun, right, Chief? And just so that you have an opportunity to see what it is that local government does. And so this is a family friendly for all ages. So I can't wait to see you guys October 18 to the 24th. Stay tuned. I'd like to also thank everyone that participated in the Get in Gear bike ride. Hope to see you next month, November 13. Also, just to piggyback off of what my colleague just mentioned, in honor of Breast Cancer Month, I encourage everyone, men and women, to stay up to date with their physical exam. I actually just went to my doctor. I have a referral to go and get my exam. So I hope that you take all the precautions. It's never too early it's better to be prudent. And every time that I think about this month, I could never not think about our very own Tanya Wilson, that's a survivor. And aside, and she's a director here in our city. So I always just remember you at this time. And I thank God that you are okay. Also, this month is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I know this is an uncomfortable conversation, but we must bring attention to this ugly situation. So please, if you are in an abusive relationship, ask for help. Call the National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-799-SAFE, 1-800-799-7233, or you can text SMART to 88788. So I hope that no one is in this situation, but if you are in this situation, I hope that you can seek refuge. Lastly, this is really exciting for me as probably the only vegetarian on this dais. October is Vegetarian Month, so I hope that you've enjoyed the dishes that I've shared in my newsletter and the different recipe. There's actually, for those of you that are interested, there is a vegan festival this Saturday at Key Biscayne. It's not even in our city, but I'm just so excited that somebody's recognizing Vegetarian or Vegan Month. And that's all that I have to say. Just want to remind my colleagues, please, we want to get the youth council going again. I know I mentioned that in the beginning. Youth council, we want to get that going again. So please, if you can go ahead and appoint your people. And I
think I already appoint my
Yes.
people to the council. You know, this month is, like you said before, is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and you can see the banners on the street. Early detection, save lives. Please get tested. That's the best way to deal with and the survivors, and please spread the word so people can understand that it's serious, and they need to do everything they can to protect themselves and get tested and get assistance early so we can be together. And Madam City Manager, as far as wearing masks, where we are for city employees?
Masks are required in all city of North Miami buildings.
Okay. And as far as vaccines, do you have an idea of how many people get the vaccine in the city?
Approximately under 200, probably under 150 of our employees.
It's like the
But I can ask Joe to answer, but it's not a high number.
It's disappointingly low. It's 180. Joe Rogliari, Human Resources Director. 180.
And I think for City Week, for Government Week, and I encourage councilwomen and to have an event with city employees, and we're gonna put $5,000 from our discretionary and prize $5,000 with employees, and in order for you to participate, you need to be fully vaccinated. It will be a $5,000 and raffle for city employees who is fully vaccinated, except the police department. Because it's for everybody, including the police department. We're gonna announce that, and at the same time, you're gonna have people available. If you wanna get the vaccine, or if you're willing to take the vaccine, you will be able to participate. It's either you're fully vaccinated or you're willing to take the vaccine, and we will announce the date and time for that luncheon. Maybe you give them 1 day off if they're fully vaccinated. That can be another help. Madam City Manager, I see you closing your eyes. It's like you don't agree with that.
He said discretionary fund, city manager, so, you know.
My eyes are open. He said discretionary fund. That worked for me.
We need to encourage people to get the vaccine. That's the best way to help each other.
We do have we have been giving out a $25 gift card for every employee that's vaccinated, and we recently had the raffle for 10 employees that were able to get $100 out of the raffle.
But now we have $5,000. Maybe we give them $5,000, give them 10 people $500.
Well, we're looking
raffle for people who is fully vaccinated, and people who is willing to get the vaccine that day will be able to participate.
We are looking at options through the ARP, but we would have to bring it back to the council because there have been some incentives in other areas that have given that, and we were looking to have an incentive that would be enough for every employee.
Thank you very much. There is no city clerk report.
Yeah, okay. So Wednesday, October 13th, from 10 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, there is the state mandated ethics training for elected officials, which they claim to be virtual and engaging. So if you have not taken
your... When, please, Madam Clerk, when?
October 13th, that is tomorrow.
Okay. Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Neither did I.
You didn't know. Can you please pass that? Because I think a lot of city... It's for elected official and board members?
Elected officials.
Okay.
And then there's another one on December 6th, and that is hosted by the Miami-Dade League of Cities and the Commission on Ethics and Public Trust of Miami-Dade County. And so if you need more information on that, you can feel free to reach out to me, and I will follow along.
Thank you very much.
Additionally, in preparation for the 2023 municipal elections in North Miami, we have to let Miami-Dade County know whether we have any plans or intentions to call a special election for any charter amendments or proposals in 2023. And so I need to have an idea what to mark on that form because it is due on Friday.
What?
So it's essentially a form that you have to fill out in preparation for the municipal elections, and you have to let them know, you have to let the county supervisor of elections know whether we have any intentions or plans to host a special election. And we have to request permission and be granted that permission before we can actually have the items appear on the ballot.
Oh, yeah. For 22, you have.
So is
Yeah,
that a
that's-
yes? There's an intention?
So,
I don't
my
know
understanding,
what's
there wouldn't be,
that.
unless there's
I don't know
God
what
forbid,
you're
a
talking
death,
about
there
that.
would be no intention.
We don't have one now, I'm gonna guess,
We
but
don't have
if we
election.
did, then we still could.
We know, we will be in there for the.
I'll repeat it. Plans or intentions to call a special election for charter amendments or proposals.
Oh, okay.
But our charter board is
I
not
didn't, I missed that part. The shorter
I have a question
amendment
about
part.
that to the city attorney. Will our charter board be convened because of redistricting? Like, what's happening? Like, I guess what happened for city? Like, do we have to redraw our lines, or does the charter board, should we be convening right now?
Those are two different things.
Okay.
The charter and the.
Okay.
Thank you, Bill.
I guess the answer would.
Oh, we do it.
I'll go ahead and mark maybe
No.
on that
Oh,
form.
maybe?
Thank you. So this year marks the first time in U.S. federal government's history that they officially recognize Indigenous Peoples Day. And I invite you all to honor the resilience and contributions of Indigenous people to American society throughout history, even as they faced assimilation, discrimination, and genocide spanning generations. And so I encourage us all to continue our collective commitments to healing our histories and our lands, and to always say thank you for these lands upon which we stand. Also, I rarely need an excuse to wear pink, but I wear pink for more than just my love of the color. I wear pink because it's a reminder that there's still a vicious disease out there for which we need to find a cure. I wear it as a reminder to people that we all need to get ourselves examined, and I wear it as a demonstration of my love and support for the many survivors and the many warriors that I know. And to those that I see every single day in this building, I just want you to know that I honor, each and every single day, I honor your strength and your courage. And I wear pink for you. And of course, we know that home is not safe for everyone. And there are millions of men and women who are victims of intimate partner violence. And every 9 seconds, a woman is beaten or assaulted, and 1 in every 4 men is a victim of some form of intimate partner violence. And this is an issue that I actually, whether you know it or not, work on almost daily. And we still have so far to go. And domestic violence needs to come to a point where it is acknowledged, it is recognized as a public health issue. And that means that we must meaningfully work in all of the areas in which we are so lacking as a community, and find solutions and services and resources for this community of folks who are unable to find safety even in their own homes. And that is all I have for today, Mayor.
Thank you very much, City Attorney.
Thank you, Mayor. No report.
City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. No report.
Assistant City Manager. Chief Jury got no report.
I have a
You
motion
sure?
made by Councilman Galvin to adjourn. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilwoman Estime Irvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion